Prosperity has one of my favorite final expense products, the Prosperity New Vista, and for good reason too. It's gone back and forth between being my #1 and #2 carriers, and if any agency claims to specialize in selling final expense remotely, doing telesales, and they don't have Prosperity, you might just need a new upline. I'm Doug Massey, and today we're going to break down the pros and cons of the Prosperity New Vista final expense product. And I'm going to share with you some of the niches and the ways that my top producers use them that's a little bit outside the norm. And yes, now is the perfect time to smash down on that like button, and we recommend that you subscribe if you're new. We're putting out new insurance sales content and final expense sales training videos like all the time. Prosperity's New Vista product has some pretty common features. They'll insure seniors from 50 to 80 years old with a face amount as little as $1,500 to a maximum of $35,000. They're what is considered what I like to refer to as a diabetes-friendly carrier because they don't ask about insulin use, and like all final expense products, they don't care if the client has, high blood pressure as long as it's controlled, of course. And of course, they don't care about, cholesterol either. All of these common health conditions are actually non-issues with all of my top carriers. The way I see it, if you're going to have a competitive final expense product that insurance agents are going to use, then the baseline has to start with maybe allowing the common health conditions that I just mentioned, and then there has to be some other niches and reasons to use that product over others. Oh, and I put together my Prosperity niche sheet, which shows how the Prosperity New Vista views all the common health conditions and even has their niches. And if you hang around till the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get this bad boy for yourself, and you can even get that contract from me too. I'll show you how to do that at the end of the video too. This product does have some pretty nifty features, including first day coverage for folks that have multiple sclerosis and a level benefit for folks who suffer from seizure disorders, including epilepsy. If the client has hepatitis C or Parkinson's disease, they can be considered for the graded death benefit. The Prosperity New Vista has a level, graded, and a true modified benefit. Of course, level coverage is first day coverage. The graded is a true graded, so in the event where, let's say, the client passes in the first year of having the insurance, it pays the beneficiary 30% of the face amount. If they die in the second year, it pays 70% of the face amount. And then, of course, full day coverage after 2 years have passed. Now, the modified benefit is very unique in the way that it is a rare, true modified benefit. So this is different. Let me explain. If the client with the modified benefit dies in the first year, Prosperity will annualize the monthly payment and give the beneficiary 110% of that annualized premium. Now, again, let me explain. Let's say the insured is making a $100 a month payment. Annualized, this works out to be $1,200. Let's say the client makes one payment and then passes. Prosperity will pay the beneficiary the annualized premium of $1,200 plus 10% interest on top of that. The modified product with most carriers is usually just a return of premium plus interest scenario, which is based on how many monthly payments the insured or the payer made, and they're not really true modified benefits. There are three main reasons that you can use Prosperity as your #1 primary carrier and insure most of your clients with them if you want to do that. Number one, they do take refillable debit cards and accept direct express cards for payment. Number two, they do true Social Security billing, which is completely different from regular Social Security billing. Now, I'll explain in a minute. And number three, they are the only carrier that pays you, the agent, full commission whether you sell the level, the graded, or the modified product. FYI, guys, all the other carriers are gonna cut your commission by potentially 20 to over 60 points when you have to sell anything other than level coverage. Now, there is a negative aspect to this, which will be addressed shortly. The difference between true Social Security billing and just Social Security billing is that Prosperity, with their true Social Security billing process, guarantees that they will draft the client's payment based on the Social Security billing calendar, and therefore will draft the client's payment on the exact day the receipt receive their Social Security benefits every single month. If you're leading with a final expense product that can't guarantee the bank draft to occur on the exact day that the client receives their Social Security monies, then you may not be leading with the right carrier. You're definitely not leading with a true final expense product. Carriers like Mutual of Omaha, Aetna, and Foresters do not have true final expense products, in my opinion. They simply can't guarantee that the bank draft will occur on the exact day that the client gets their money, which there's a give and take to that. But the way I see it, I believe in teaching my agents to try to avoid selling Mutual of Omaha and Aetna and Foresters. The simple fact is they do have a higher lapse rate than carriers like Prosperity, Liberty Bankers Life, American Amicable, and even the old loved and hated Transamerica. Another nice benefit about this product is how they will allow you to set up the first bank draft up to 35 days out. Now, most carriers will not allow you to go further than 30 days, which is an issue when you're selling the client within a few days of their Social Security payday. They are a true telesales product as they give you multiple signature options for the client. You can either do an email signature or record your voice signature with your client, which is great if the client maybe has difficulty getting the email to open, for the e-signature. With Prosperity, you can add on an additional accidental death rider, but it expires when the client turns 75. Now, some of my top agents do lead and start with Prosperity because the Prosperity New Vista will do something very, very cool and unique that most carriers are not going to do. Let's say you've got an applicant that is pretty healthy and according to your field underwriting should qualify for their level coverage. When you start to fill out the electronic application, the prescription background happens automatically at the beginning of the application. So by the time you've answered all the health questions, if there are questionable medications that show up on the background, Prosperity will ask additional questions and disclose to you, the agent, what those medications are. By knowing exactly what medications are going to come up on a script check, you now have everything you need to switch gears and apply to a different carrier that might view those medications or health conditions a little bit differently. Instead of Prosperity having an annual convention for the agents to qualify for, they do a quarterly bonus. With a minimum of $25,000 of settled business per quarter, they will give you a 10% bonus, so now you can spend the money really whatever way you see fit. In my opinion, the Prosperity New Vista product only has one real negative aspect. The graded and modified are pretty overpriced compared to like other carriers graded and modified, which, well, it really doesn't matter if your client is using a refillable debit or direct express card for payment. If you would like to access free final expense remote or telesales training, just click on the link above. This thing's going to take you to our 3-part telesales series that covers like everything you need to sell final expense over the phone successfully. For a copy of the Prosperity Niche Cheat Sheet that I put together, just email me. For more information on selling final expense insurance through our independent agent telesales platform, just shoot me an email at that same address. As always, guys, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there or get on that headset and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.